Welcome, everyone, to this edition of Talented Universe on the NDB Media Network. I'd like to first say hi to our co-host, but before I do that, just to remind you all that it is the 11th of October in 2025, unless you are in Australia, and then it is the 12th of October 2025. So, Liz, how are you doing this fabulous 2 days that we're having?
I'm definitely doing better than we were this morning with some of the problems we had with StreamYard, but it sounds like we're all doing good now.
Well, that is good. Marcia, how are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's almost halfway through October, and I'm ready for fall.
Do you have rain today, Marcia?
We have had a lot of rain. I'm here in Northeast Florida, and we haven't had any hurricanes this season, so that is amazing.
Oh, and we have a nor'easter hitting us right now. So there you go, which is a winter hurricane, but they just call it something different. So that's what's exciting. But I would like to welcome our guest today, Linden Trescott. How are you doing, Linden?
Really well, thank you, guys. Yeah, I'm tuning in from Melbourne, which is unfortunately quite cold at the moment. Usually I'm based in Sydney, and it's lovely weather in Sydney right now, so a little bit jealous of all my friends and family back home. But we're approaching summertime for us, so keen for that.
Well, that is good. Now, we do have you mainly in here for your acting and for verticals. How many verticals have you done so far?
So 2. I did one small cameo appearance in a vertical on Real Short in Sydney. And then I've just finished doing Spring Break Bucket List on Vigloo, which was shot in Vietnam. And that was my main lead role, kind of breakthrough into the vertical space. So I've only just dipped my toe into the vertical world.
I did not realize that was filmed in Vietnam. Oh, wow.
Yes. Yeah. And now, it was 5 days.
You did that in 5 days?
It was a 90-page script shot over the course of 5 days.
Oh.
Each day was about 14 hours long shooting, which isn't even that long in the vertical space. I know in China they shoot up to 20 hours a day sometimes. So we got through a lot very, very quickly. But I feel very grateful. That was my first kind of big vertical experience. We were taken such good care of. Mauricio, who was the director, did such a great job. Really looked after us. And also Vigloo, I feel like, is at the forefront in the vertical space with original high quality content. So very grateful. That was my first experience.
That is good. That is good. A leading role too. So it's
exactly.
Like, wow. Yeah. Now, I assume you'd never been to Vietnam before.
No, I had not. Yeah, which was super special. So it was like experiencing a new culture and country for the first time while also working. So it was like a dream come true. The food was incredible. I'm such a foodie. So they were loving that whatever they put in front of me, I would eat. And throughout the week, that just progressively get more and more adventurous. It would turn into things with legs attached and shells still on, and I'd just whoop it down. So they love that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to save the rest of the questions I had till later, just in case. I know probably Liz is going to steal them, but I don't care. I've stolen hers so many times. But I'm going to head over to Liz right now.
Actually, you actually had answered one of the questions that I was going to ask you, because I was noticing a lot of the scenery and stuff that was around, a Hampton Summer, the Hampton Summer Affair. And I was like, is that filmed in Australia? That just seems like a lot of foliage. And I heard a couple birds call, but I don't normally hear a call unless I'm either talking to somebody from Australia or it's a film in Australia. So,
yeah.
Was that filmed in Sydney, Melbourne? Do you know? I mean,
yeah, that one was in Sydney. They had some unreal locations, as you probably saw, like the big mansion on the cliffside in Dover Heights, which is just up from Bondi. Like some unreal locations, which was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be. And kind of speaking in terms, same thing with the cliffs and all. You're a very adventurous person with certain things. One of the things that I noticed was that you're very into parkour. And
big time, yes.
Both my daughter and I had the same question, because when she was in high school, some of the guys were doing it and stuff, and she was like, no, I'm not never going to do that. But her question, along with mine, would have been, you've done this for how many times? How many times have you actually gotten seriously hurt or broken a bone?
So I've only broken my wrist and my finger. Both times were not parkour related. Both of them were when I was a kid, just being a kid and running around and falling off things. So the worst parkour injury I had was tearing my meniscus, which is the cartilage in your knee.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it wasn't bad enough that I needed surgery or anything. It just healed on its own. But I couldn't run for 6 months, and it was a very painful experience, especially for someone who's so active like myself, like taking such a long time away from your sport and that community of friends who you like, catching up with and training it's always really hard dealing with injury. So that's been my worst. Yeah, but been very lucky, thankfully.
Yes, I had a meniscus injury, 45 plus years ago now, when I was dancing. I used to be a dancer. And some idiot had spilt water and ice on the dance floor, didn't pick it up. I went up into a pirouette and came down, and my knee went one way and I went the other.
Oh, it's such a classic. It's the twisting and I was doing, mine was in the sand. So I did a front flip over a railing at Bondi Beach, and big diving front flips were always still kind of a special skill of mine. And I didn't really spend much time preparing. It was a very spontaneous, I was down with some stunt friends. I'm also a stunt man, and we were down doing some fight choreo on the beach, and we walked past this railing spot, and I was like, oh guys, I'll just hit this front flip really quickly. And I misjudged the height and under rotated the flip and landed in a very deep squat. Ooh. And my knee shifted in the sand. So as my knee in that deep position and shifted, just tore. One of those things, you always kick yourself and you think, what could have I done differently? And you just have to take that into the future and learn from your mistakes. And it's kind of part of the sport. And meniscus injuries are very common in jumping sports like basketballers and things like that. But just being aware of it and, training your body to be strong enough to handle the impact as well.
Yeah, definitely. But you do another sport as well. And I found this funny because many years ago, one of my daughter's school friends moved to Sydney. And her dad got involved in this. And that happens to be the Tour de Pub. And have you thanked him yet?
I have not. So I something that I haven't done for a while now. I've just been so busy with other work, which I'm grateful for because things have been picking up for me. But no, I have not yet reached inner sanctum status. So something I'm still working towards.
Yeah, something you still have to work forwards to.
Yeah, that's right.
That's funny. That's funny. And one question I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to turn it to Marsha, because I don't know if you can answer this or not. If you can't, that's fine, because of NDAs. But I know that you've been assistant producer's assistant, and you were a producer trainee on a Disney film. Can you tell us anything about those?
I absolutely can. Yeah, so I did a director-producer traineeship on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, directed by Wes Ball, which was an unreal experience. I studied at AFTRS, which is the National Film School in Australia, for 3 years behind the camera. So I kind of started out in performing. I did theatre when I was a child, and that transitioned into screen acting. And then I kind of always had the passion for both in front and behind the camera work. And I decided rather than going to drama school, I'd go to film school where I can have more creative control of the stories I tell. And then I can always cast myself. As an actor, it can be frustrating waiting around to be cast in other people's projects. So, I wanted the ability to tell my own stories. And so part of that, when I graduated, part of the kind of alumni opportunities with that film school, they have a partnership with Disney. And so I applied for this internship, and through a series of interviews, I ended up landing it, which I was super grateful for. And I was on for 3 months throughout the whole shoot period for that film, which was an unreal production to be involved with. Learnt so much, budget of like $300 million, huge set pieces, huge visual effects. The Weta FX team who did Avatar, were doing this one as well, and they won a lot of awards for how they did the motion capture and all the effects, especially with the animal fur in water, the way that interacts, the realism they were able to create with that. So I had great chats with the Weta FX team. They were super generous with their time and loved explaining it to people who, you know, didn't have any experience with that previously. So that was a great kind of process to learn. And I was dying to be an ape. I was talking to the producers. I was like, if they need anyone else in a motion capture suit, you know, I'm stunt trainer with all the parkour stuff. I was like, who do I have to talk to get in the motion capture suit? So hopefully if they come back to Australia for the next one, I can be on as a stuntie or as an actor. But made some great connections through that. And also with those big Disney productions in Australia, the same crew kind of goes from Disney production to Disney production. So they usually shoot, now with Disney Studios in Sydney, they usually shoot 2 major Disney movies a year at the studios there. And I was lucky enough to work on Play Dirty with Mark Wahlberg, directed by Shane Black, which has just come out on Amazon in the last couple of weeks. And I did some background driving through the stunt coordinator I train under. And it was a great kind of reunion, linking back up with all the friends that I made on Planet of the Apes. So it's just been a great opportunity to get my foot in the door. And I think it's great to have as many skill sets as you can in this industry, because, you know, I can work as a stuntman, I can work as an actor, I can work as a musical theater performer, I can work as a cinematographer, and it all kind of feeds into each other. You know, with the camera work, I understand the on-set lingo and what focal length I'm being captured in, so I can adjust my performance to suit those circumstances. So it's all kind of really helped me. And as well, having the experience on big sets with, you know, creatives who you look up to and working with them, I feel very at home in that chaotic on-set environment, and it brings out the best in me, and I feel like I can do my best work in that environment, and it's not something I'm intimidated by because I'm so familiar with it. I know the radio lingo and I know people on set, and it feels like you're at home rather than coming into a really scary environment. So that's been really great.
I appreciate the way you answered that. You gave a nice and thorough detail. So if people wanted to know, that you definitely explained a lot of, you know, the whole aspect of it. Miss Marcia, I'm going to throw it to you.
Why, thank you. Hi, Linden.
Hi, Marsha.
You are a most interesting person. I noticed that in some of your videos that you were an early adopter of utilizing the internet for reaching people. Can you tell me how that came about? How did you get so involved in utilizing?
Yeah, that's a really great observation. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, I've always loved YouTube because as a kid who loved capturing everything on cameras, how cool is YouTube being this platform where anyone can post their films online and have an audience? And I just thought that was the most amazing thing. And this was a time where acting agents didn't like their talent posting on YouTube, and it was a bit of a taboo thing of, you know, don't post too much on YouTube because it's seen as a negative rather than a positive. Whereas now, everyone's agents are saying, you know, post as much content on social media as you can. So I was kind of doing this before that was widely adopted. And for me, it was just an opportunity to share my work and make your own opportunities, which I think we see now with, you know, people who do social media full time. It's like, what an opportunity. And if rather than waiting around for people to cast you in something, it's like, why not film your own self-tapes and put them out there for people to see, or film your own short films and showcase what you can do. So I think I really like the ability of taking things into my own hands and telling my stories and having an audience.
Mm-hmm. And to take that even further, I have a song in my head I've been listening to. You have been, you're a filmmaker, editor, and you have been working with Spitfire Girls, the musical.
Yes.
I have already fallen in love with this musical. I'm in the United States and I'm hoping it comes here. But yeah, tell me about your involvement with this amazing project.
Yes, so this is my amazing, beautiful, talented girlfriend's original piece that she's co-wrote all the songs with her father. Her family has an incredible musical background. Her brother is one of the best jazz guitarists in the world, and he's currently touring Europe at the moment, performing live, which is an incredible experience, and he's just crushing it out there. Yeah, so I've been involved with all the workshops that have happened with Spitfire, any kind of marketing piece and creative scene to help pitch the project. It's kind of at the stage now where the project has been fully fleshed out and formed and is ready to be put on. But as you guys will know, I'm sure, musicals are an expensive endeavor. And I think it's, you need to put it on in the right way and have the right budget for it. So it's kind of in the point now where looking for funding and getting producers on board and fingers crossed coming in 2026 or 2027. And then coming over to the UK would be a big market for it as well. For those who don't know, Spitfire Girls is a story about female pilots in World War II who took aircraft from the hangars to the front lines to replace those lost in battle. Incredible story that not many people know about. And yeah, I can say from kind of being behind the scenes and watching Rosie, write this incredible story and be part of this process. It's such a strong story, and you can look up these music videos and pieces that I've co-created. The music is just super powerful, and it gives me chills every time I listen to it. So something that's really exciting, hopefully coming very, very soon.
I put Firing Line on my my list, so I've listened to it like 6 times already today. It is
amazing. And also it's something that in the process of recording a whole Spitfire album as well, so those songs are available on Spotify and things like that, so that's kind of all happening in the background too. So I'm glad you found that, and hopefully it reaches more people.
Yes, and I also loved the video that you did, Red Flag, which
yeah I'm so glad you loved that.
Totally fun, totally.
I love that that kind of short form engaging content on social media. I think is a real strength of mine, and what a dream to collaborate with my partner on these music videos and use her talent as a singer and performer as well. So it's such a beautiful connection where we're not in a competitive way, but our skill sets complement each other and we're able to work together like that, which is a dream.
I see such incredible things happening for this partnership. I can't tell you. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you know the musical Jesus Christ Superstar, which
I do. Yeah.
It kind of, the music and the collaboration is very exciting. So I'm looking forward to everything that you two do coming forward.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
And also continuing you're in or have been in Hair, the musical.
Yeah, so I'm currently in Melbourne for Hair. So 2 weeks away from opening. So rehearsals are ramping up at the moment as we speak. Rehearsing Monday to Saturday. So next week is our last week of rehearsals in the warehouse kind of rehearsal space. And then the week after that, we're in the theater. And the week after that, we open.
Mm-hmm. So how much did you know about Hair, the musical, before you approached to be in the production? How much did you know about Hair?
I didn't know much. When I saw the audition kind of listing come out, that's when I researched it and discovered the amazing history that the musical has and the impact for social change that it has. And I think something that really excited me about that project is how relevant it still is today with its anti-war sentiment and fight for equality and freedom. There's so many themes that are just so relevant in today. So that really excited me, and the cast is such a high caliber as well. There's 18 incredible performers from such diverse backgrounds. So it's been such an amazing opportunity to work on my singing and dancing and meet and work with a bunch of other creatives.
Hair, I'm I'm kind of just a little bit older than you, so I'm originally from New York City, so I actually saw the original production of Hair in New York
Wow,
City.
wow, wow.
So when I see a revival of Hair, it gives me such heart and such hope for furthering it. I know it's going to be different and it's going to be exciting and it's going to be, So and you are Apache, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm doing some flips in the dance numbers
I
and
wondered about that.
and flexing my muscles. So I'm bringing all my special skills to this one. So
Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to go back to Michael. I've got a lot more questions, but
all
Okay,
right, thanks,
cool.
Masha.
Cool. Now, Linden, when I was looking at your latest vertical, we've had some other people on that have said when they have had to do pool scenes, they were not too thrilled. So I had a question. I was going to ask you, did you do your own stunts? And then I looked at some place and I found out that you have been on and off part-time a lifeguard.
Yes. So
Yes.
I do usually in the summertime I lifeguard at a place Dawn Fraser Bars, which is it's like the oldest ocean pool in Sydney. There's fish and stingray that swim in there. It's such a beautiful center, and I usually do some weekends there, which I'm missing out on right now. It's amazing weather down there at the moment. But yeah, I'm fully lifeguard first aid trained, which also ties back into my stunt work and being able to do that on set as well. So that was kind of funny. In this vertical that I do, there is a scene where I rescue my co-star Caleb Brady from the pool and do some resus, which was quite funny as well. And yes, I did do all my own stunts, which I love to do. Any opportunity to do that, I'm always here for it. And the pool scenes, it's kind of an ongoing joke with me and my friends now. Like whenever we're out training parkour, my shirt always comes off. Get a bit of a tan while you're training, the classic Australian quintessential classic stereotypical lifeguard, so I love all that stuff, and I'm really into the gym and confident in my body, so I'm always cruising around with my top off, so none of that stuff really phases me.
Well, they seem to have you do that a lot in that show. That's all I.
Oh yeah, even in Hair, my costume on the top is just a vest open. Yes. So they're using the assets. They've got the abs out. They've got the arms out. Like they know what they're getting. So
they're trying to get the audience in there. Yes,
that's right. And no matter what project I work on, even if it doesn't say anything about a shirtless scene in the brief, somehow I end up with my shirt off. So it's just a running joke at this point. But I'm here for it because anything I can get paid to, be in shape and do flips and things like that is a dream come true. So yeah, I'm here for it.
After when this run of Hair gets finished, has it got a preset one, or are they waiting to see how ticket sales go?
Yeah, so it's in Melbourne until the end of November, and then if it does well, there's talk of potentially touring it and taking it to Sydney, but that's dependent on how this season goes, which would be great for me because it's home based and very close and convenient. But yeah, we'll see.
So you'd be happy for it to continue and move to Sydney then?
Yeah, absolutely. And as well, it's a point where if this vertical drama work kind of picks up as well, maybe after this run I'll be off overseas doing some more verticals. So it's very much the options are open right now, and we'll just see what happens. But I'm just looking at right ahead opening in less than 14 days now, which is very soon.
Yeah. That when did you start rehearsals for this?
So we've done 3 weeks of rehearsals. So a lot of theatre shows don't get much rehearsal time. We've been lucky enough we have 5 weeks in total for rehearsal, which is great, especially for such a big ensemble piece, like 18 cast members. Every song, basically everyone is singing and dancing. It's such a huge piece to coordinate. So yeah, the 5 weeks is a good amount of time, and we'll be rehearsing it and changing things, I'm sure, till the week before. So yeah.
Well, that is great. when you don't have anything else to do, which doesn't sound like very much time at all, what do you like to do in your spare time to relax and kick back?
Yeah, I mean, the beach is a big part of Australia, obviously, and a big part of my lifestyle. And being in Sydney as well, we're so spoiled with amazing like nature spots, and all of New South Wales. Really, I'm such a fan of the whole coastline. Is just filled with amazing beaches, and I have a lot of friends who are into cliff jumping and highlining and things like that, and I'm thankful enough to be involved with those communities. So going out for a weekend of some nature adrenaline fueled activity is always a great time. But yeah, I mean, you'll always find me down at the beach and when it's good weather, and also the gym being such an outlet for me as well. I'm such an energetic person, and I feel like I need something to kind of release that testosterone and push myself in. So that's always something that helps to clear my head as well.
Well, that is great. I'm going to go back to Liz right now.
Well, actually, I'm going to tag on one question that you kind of already answered a little bit with your stunt work. But whenever you're the lead, and I believe you were the lead in this last vertical that you did, does the producers or anybody come to you and say, nope, can't do that. You're the lead. We can't have you get injured?
There is a bit of that. I think they had quite a bit of trust in my ability, looking at my Instagram and videos of me doing parkour and flips and things like that. And also, if there was any downtime, you'd often find me over on the grass somewhere doing some tumbling and acrobatics. So they were kind of already watching me do quite a lot of things. And originally there was not any parkour kind of written into the script. Mauricio knew about my ability and what I could do, so he was keen to incorporate elements if it kind of serviced the story. And thankfully there were a few moments where that happened, and I kind of gave offerings as well. It's like, oh, why not in this moment when I'm jumping into the pool, why don't I flip into the pool? Or why not when I'm climbing over when I'm going into the school to sing the song, or going to rescue her from the arranged wedding or things like that. It's like, why don't I kind of parkour and climb over the balcony because I'm in such a rush to get there and I'm not going to take the stairs, So those things I think really added to the story without being like a needless, parkour for no reason. Like I think it serviced the story, and any opportunity like that, I was always saying, hey Mal, like, what do you think about this if I did this? And he's like, okay, like let's make sure it's safe, and we worked through that. But yeah, it was a great opportunity to add in some spice like that. Yeah.
No, I think that's great that they're taking that into consideration, you being able to do it routinely, regularly, and then adding it to the different projects. Although I have one project I want to talk to you about, and it's a personal one. When you got your nose reconstruction, I wanted to say Thank you so much for being so honest and coming out and saying, this is what it's going to be. I was really having these down days with it. It was not what I expected, to being up and happy again. And I think for a lot of people that will watch that, they will definitely see your ups and downs and find it's a good fit. But I appreciate you coming forward and saying that. So.
Oh, I appreciate you saying that. And I think I've had one of my close friends ended up going to the same surgeon who I saw based on my experience with that video. And he talked to me personally about it, and he's had great results now. For people who don't know, I had a deviated septum, which is the cartilage in the middle of your nose here, and it was crooked, and that can impair your breathing. And I never had huge issues. I was always a sportsman growing up, and I never really had tremendous breathing issues or anything like that. It was partly cosmetic as well, as wanting to straighten my nose and improve my breathing. And you have to wait until you're fully developed to potentially have surgery on that. So when I was in my 20s, I did a lot of research and found a really good doctor who specializes in function rather than just the cosmetics. And I went to see him, and he showed me what he could do. And basically I was already happy with the way my nose looked. I just wanted my septum to be straight. And obviously before I was looking at committing to that surgery, because it's quite a daunting kind of procedure, right? Where they break your nose and restructure things. So I was looking up online like nose reconstruction and different stories, and there wasn't many people making videos from the male perspective of getting a nose job. And so I wanted to kind of share that experience of how I went with that and have that documented. And I've done that a few times in the past. Like I did that with my experience of going to AFTRS and film school. And I've noticed that has been a really, there's still people that go to AFTRS to this day that will recognize me and come up to me and you know, say that they watch my YouTube videos or it influenced their decision to study at the school and things like that. So I think you never know that reach that those videos can have. And I'm someone who is quite open to sharing and being vulnerable, which comes back to being an actor. I think you have to be quite vulnerable in moments as well. And it's like, it is what it is. And that was the experience. And like you said, it comes up and down, and I'm really happy with the result now. And my septum is straight and I can breathe perfectly, and it's all been fantastic. But it takes a while to get there for sure. It's like a 10-month kind of recovery process with the swelling. And
Oh yeah. You graduated from AFTRS, so about 2 months after the surgery, or was it longer?
It was kind of the same time. At my graduation, I had only just got the cast off. Yeah. And so in my graduation video where I'm accepting my award and degree and everything, my nose was so stiff at the time because I just got the cast off that I could barely smile properly. So you can see in my acceptance of my degree, I'm trying not to smile too widely because you can see my face is swollen and stiff. So it was quite a funny coincidence with those things lining up. But yeah, very, very glad that I did it, and very glad I did my research and saw someone who specializes in breathing and building a structure that lasts a lifetime. And I'm really happy with the result. Yeah.
Just don't get it broken again.
That's right. Well, jumping into stunts, you know, like I'm trying my best not to cop a stray punch. So, yeah, putting it to the test, that's for sure.
I have this terrible, terrible feeling that if you're in this line of work, it's going to happen inevitably sooner or later. Say this, like if you're a motorcycle rider, which our family is, you're going to go down at some point. Just depends on how bad. And I think, unfortunately, with your line of work, it will happen again, but hopefully it won't get you too bad.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it feels really strong, and I think the older I get, the more longevity focused I am, and the more I'm focusing on the acting. And I know long term, I might not want to throw myself through a brick wall and take a punch. You know what I mean? So it's definitely part of my skill set, but not the only thing I'm focusing on.
Yeah. And speaking of focusing on something, if Marcia found this, I'm going to come across the screen and strangle her, because I was looking for this and cannot find it. Lights, Camera, Death. Is it out or not? I've only seen
it. It is not out yet. No, it is not out yet. Yeah. So that's an independent feature that I did last year, and I haven't even seen the final result either. So very keen to watch it and have a screening. And but I know I'm quite close with the director, Kevin Kachan, and so yeah, in talks and negotiating in the States and finding a platform for it. So that's quite exciting as well. I'm keen for that to come out.
Oh, I can't wait for it. We're a huge horror family, so this is one I cannot wait for. And the premise was so perfect amazing. Too. It's like it was so perfect. So
yeah, and it was really fun with that as well because it's a found footage horror film. So it's like the actors go to a house to film a movie, and then everything goes wrong. So it's kind of like the BTS of that all happening. So there was a lot of improvisation and riffing as well, and a lot of unexpected things happening during the takes. And it was just such a fun experience and almost theater-like as well, of just like, these are your characters, this is how they relate to each other, this is the situation of what's happening, how are you going to react in that scene? So it was like really putting yourself into that fight or flight kind of feeling state. But it was such a fun group of people to work on. And I feel like Australia does really well on the horror front. So it should be a really, really fun one to watch. Yeah.
Oh, I think they do too. One more question, then I'm going to toss it to Marcia. You have, in as many of the little clips and different things you've done for Instagram, as well as different things on Facebook, you have put in so many sci-fi references. I have got to know, are you a sci-fi fan? And if so, if you are, which genre? And I don't know if you heard or not, when you were doing Hampton Summer that they put in the Daily Planet, a reporter from the Daily Planet?
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow. Yes, that's a great little Easter egg. Yeah, I mean, growing up, Star Wars was such a huge influence on me as a kid, which sounds funny to say. It's like, a kid watching Star Wars, but you don't know where that inspiration kind of leads. And watching Jedi, fight with lightsabers and do flips around the place, it was a seed that was planted very early in my brain of like, oh, I want to do stunts and I want to act and I want to do these things. And watching the behind the scenes clips on YouTube and things like that. Yeah, I mean, I do love that genre, and it would be a dream to work on any, IP for like a Star Wars. It'd be such a full circle moment. And I think everything I'm doing now is in an attempt to make my younger self proud. When I was a kid, I'd look up to all those superheroes and things with the big jacked physiques and the physical skill sets, and I've tried to build myself into that person, right? And I think I'm on the right track.
I think you are. Yeah, I definitely think you are. So, Marcia, I'm going to give it to you.
All right. So to kind of wrap up the parkour thing, and you're a sci-fi fantasy fan, we have been watching a show that is on TNT here. It's called The Librarians, The Next Chapter. And in it, there's one of the main characters is a
You
parkour
recognize.
expert.
Wow, I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah,
So it's
when we
Librarians
started
Next Chapter.
interviewing you guys, I was going to tell Marcia, you've got to double check on Bluey because I am certain he's into parkour. With all these
Well, the
things.
thing is, the parkour community is so tight knit. Like, everyone travels internationally, stays at people's places. Like, it's such a small niche community, and obviously it's growing more and more and more. But it's such a welcoming community. Everyone's so close, so there's probably a good chance that I know the performer. So I'm gonna have to look into that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Librarians Next Chapter. So yeah. But so getting back to your spring break bucket list, which was very cute, and it had immediately I thought Romeo and Juliet.
It's exactly that. It's the classic tale of Romeo and Juliet with the warring families set in a modern context, being spring break.
Mm-hmm. And you use an American accent. Developing an American accent, was that something that you did early in your career or later?
Definitely earlier. As an Australian performer, a lot of the international projects that you audition for are American. So a lot of the audition material, if not most of it, you're doing a US accent. So it's something you have to be very competent with. And it's always fun to do that as well. And it was funny working with Kayla, because Kayla, between takes, just wanted to do an Australian accent because, being an American, she wanted to try and do her best Ocker, like, g'day, mate, kind of accent. So right before takes, she was speaking to me with her best Australian accent, and then they'd call action, and I'd have to flip my brain and go into American accent mode, which was a fun challenge and very cool. And through hair as well, they've got a professional dialect coach, because everyone comes from very different areas. People come from New York and different parts of America in that. So to kind of flesh out the reality of the tribe, we've been doing some accent training through that as well, which has been great. So it's only getting better. And the more accents you do, similar to like different skill sets, like the more role opportunities it opens up.
So you use an American accent in hair?
Yes.
Okay, I wondered about that. So what are every performer has their favorite moments for their character. So far, what is some of your favorite Apache moments in the production?
I think the dance numbers I get to do flips in, to be honest. They're very aware of what of who they kind of got on board, and the dance choreographer has used every opportunity. I'm doing lifts. I'm lifting some of the girls up above my head, and
Oh, wow.
doing flips around the stage, and doing some flex moments. So it feels very me, and very fun to include in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good
for
luck
sure.
on your opening. I'm sure you're gonna have a blast.
Thank you
And the
so
audience
much.
is
I
gonna
really
love it. I
appreciate it.
know it.
Amazing,
So,
amazing. Thank you.
and a couple of things about about your spring break bucket list.
Mm.
The war, some of the terms that were used, like the war room, where where the, I want to say Capulets, and because it is Romeo
I
and
know.
Juliet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
So
Um.
uh
Oh, you
we
go. Sorry.
well, we have we have the story, the Romeo and Juliet kind of, and we kind of know how it's going to end, or hope how it's going to end, and it ends very sweetly and wonderfully. And don't you want to kind of see a sequel?
I do personally, because working with that team was such a joy, and the character of Ryder Marshall was such a great opportunity for me to show my range. Ryder starts as this egotistical F-boy, and then transforms into this Prince Charming when he falls in love with this girl. So it was a really fun character to play, and obviously with the opportunities to do my own stunts, and I got to sing as well, kind of show some of the musical theatre chops in there, which was great, which was a very 10 Things I Hate About You scene, which was one of my favorites as well. Yeah, I mean, I'd love a sequel. Yeah, so hopefully people really like it, and it convinces them to do another.
Excellent. And so, do you have a vertical possibly role coming up next, or are you doing the production and
Yeah, so I've
keeping
had a
options
few offers come through. Some of them I've had to turn down because I'm kind of booked out with this show. There was actually one shooting in Melbourne right now, but I couldn't make it work with my rehearsal schedule. But the fact that it was in Melbourne and I'm in Melbourne was kind of unreal as well. So hopefully, once this run ends, I'm keeping my options open. We'll see if hair picks up and tours, or if I'll go overseas again and do some more verticals. But there's definitely interest there. So I'm just,
Excellent.
seeing where it takes me. But I'm keen to really dive into it, because, like I said, I've only really just dipped my toe into that world, and keen to kind of explore it more. And what I'd really love to do, in no matter what form, if it was a theatre show or film series or vertical, I'd love to do something medieval or Vikings related, and
That would
have
be
the
perfect for
braids
you.
going with the long hair and the stunts. It'd be a dream. So that's a personal bucket list moment for me.
We have to have you swinging on a chandelier. That's the thing.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm here for adding as many stunts as possible.
And just as a side, is Rosie at all interested in the vertical world, or is she? I know she's working on her.
I mean, she's a super competent performer in herself. It'd be a dream to do something together. So fingers crossed that can happen. But she is a musical theatre performer first and foremost,
Yes,
and
and
a
a
writer, and
wonderful
stuff
one.
like that, so slightly different. And her songwriting, I mean, I'm sure, if you follow my social links, I'm sure you can find hers and her Instagram and things like that. But incredible songwriter, original songs. It just blows me away. In another life, I feel like I would have done music. And to me, that ability to write songs and have such meaningful kind of poetry and language that rhymes is just such an amazing, brings tears to my eyes listening to her perform. So yeah, that's really special.
When I was researching you, I kind of went off on a tangent on her, so I
Yeah, and it's the thing as well. Like, a lot of people, say to us, like, what a power couple. We're both very in go mode in our careers right now, and try to work together as much as we can. So hopefully that'll just continue to grow and blossom. Yeah.
lovely. And one last thing before I go back to Liz is you talked something about horror, and you said that Australia is good at horror. Well, on the internet, you always see these gigantic, horrible insects and things that are in Australia. Is
Yeah.
that true?
To an extent, yes, it is. Especially the more north you go. I worked on a documentary series which was traveling to kind of rural Australia and ended up on the Tiwi Islands and all around, which was a fantastic experience. It was called The First Inventors. It was all about the science of Indigenous Australia. And kind of behind that culture, which was really special. And up in Darwin, there's crocodiles at the beach, and you can't swim in the water. And Queensland, there's jellyfish, irukandji jellyfish that are tiny, but they can kill you. And there is some truth to it.
Good.
I like to think that if you leave the snakes alone, they won't bother you. I feel like in the States with the mountain lions up in the Hollywood Hills and things like that scares me more than the snakes and the spiders. But I think it's just what you're used to. But in Australia, it's definitely something, in the summertime, you don't go walking in the long grass because you don't want to get bitten by a snake and things like that to be aware of for sure. But to me, the big scary, like the bears and the lions are the scarier things in the national park because they'll hunt you down, The snakes and spiders will bite you if you bother them, but if you leave them alone, you're all right for the most part. But being hunted sounds scarier to me.
Okay. So, Maki, you want to go to Liz or?
Yeah, let's go to Liz. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I just basically have one more question. I've got to ask this. When you were filming A Hampton Summer, it's so many words, I kind of cut it down to A Hampton Summer.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, okay. At least somebody's thinking along the same lines. I have a question on that. You played the semi-love interest to one of the characters. And I have got to say, every time you saw him, saying certain things with his quote-unquote girlfriend, you would either be rolling your eyes or doing something else. And I thought this was so perfect because, boy, are you enunciating through your face exactly what you're feeling. And I thought that was
I'm
great.
so glad that read. Yeah, that was really fun. That's a good mate of mine, Quinn. And we'd catch up and go to the gym and outside of that as well. So that was a really fun project because we all just got along so well and everyone kind of catches up outside of that. So I think that's something really special about the vertical space as well is, you're traveling internationally with people and working with such long days and fast pace that you make really strong connections and friendships through that. So that whole cast was a dream to work with. Yeah, it was very fun.
Yeah, it just looked like a very fun set. You could almost see it kind of shining through with things.
Amazing. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. And also, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being on the show and taking your time with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. And it's so great talking with you. You're obviously really great at what you do. And I've really appreciated all the questions and the conversation. I can talk about this stuff for hours. So yeah, I really appreciate it.
No problem. Michael, I think I'm going to throw it to you.
Yeah. The only other question I have left, and then I'm going to go to Marcia for the closing, is we ask this for all of our vertical actors. And now since you're, hanging around your sister right now, when you told her the first time that you were going to do a vertical drama and she gave you that look, how did you explain a vertical drama to her?
Oh my goodness. That is a great question because the first time you tell someone in your family, say, "Oh, I'm going to Vietnam to do a vertical drama," like, what's a vertical drama?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I say, well, basically, they turn the camera on the side or they crop it in so it fits the aspect ratio of a phone, and it's basically a really fast-paced, short form soap opera where someone dies, someone gets pregnant, like the stakes are super heightened. It's basically how I explain it. It's like 1 to 2 minute long episodes and it gets crazy and the stakes get so high and it's made for the phone. And people are like, oh, like, are they the things I've seen on TikTok?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. Because it is that, it's amazing with the vertical space. It's kind of the wild, wild west at the moment, but the views kind of speak for itself. Like the amount of traction that these series are getting. Like some of these series, I think Summer Affair got like 50 million views or something,
Something like
over
that, yeah.
all the episodes. It's like some of the reach that these verticals get is incredible. So obviously there's an audience for it and an opportunity for it to grow. So I think they're only going to get better, and there's going to be more and more opportunities. So I'm really glad that I've kind of got into that industry now, and I'm kind of growing with it.
Well, we've had guests on, and they've had their fans come in the chat room, and they've been from all over the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. It's huge, right?
we had a 14-year-old on, and he had fans all over, and I could not pronounce the people's names that came in the chat room. I was going crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
I wanted to make Liz take over the chat room because I was going crazy.
Yeah. Oh, good on you. Yeah, that's great.
But I mean,
Yes.
and we were warned. He said, he's got a lot of fans over
Yeah.
in the Philippines. And I go, yeah, right, okay. And then it was like, yeah, he did.
I tell you what, that's something that I've experienced through YouTube as well. People in the Philippines are all over the meet. Like they're watching the YouTube, they're watching these verticals. Like they really get into stuff, and I love it because they're such a passionate fan base and audience for media out there. But the opportunities are growing in that space, and it's very exciting. Yeah, and opens up so many opportunities for so many actors to work and get paid and travel for their work and
travel, get experience, and all that good stuff. Oh, absolutely.
Totally.
Absolutely. Marsha, I'll let you close out the show. And
Okay, one thing I have to say. So everybody, he released his hair. Okay, you got the hair. You're happy.
It's down. You've got it out. It's happening. Just letting it grow into Hair, the musical. Leaning into it.
That's right. So just one thing we hadn't talked about food. I like to ask people about their favorite kind of go-to comfort food when you're really hungry. You come home, you're tired. What is it that you reach for?
My favorite going out to eat thing when I'm really hungry would be a big Chinese banquet.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go wrong. It's just so good. You just order everything. You share it with everyone. It's just always a great time. That's always my default. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Whether it's takeaway or go into there and have a big banquet, that's usually my go-to. Yeah.
That's funny. We had Chinese food for dinner.
Oh, really? Yeah. Amazing.
I was eating it too.
Yeah.
I feel that. But yes, I wanted to thank you for sharing and being with us and being so engaging and wonderful. And we now adore you even more. And also Rosie, and let her know that we are with her and all of her endeavors and your endeavors together. And thank you so much. And please stay in touch.
Oh, thank you so much. It means a lot. Yeah, I'm super grateful to have this conversation, and hope to do it again. And I'll definitely stay in touch.
Do that, because we would love to have you back when you've got, after you finish your hair debut.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And Rosie will be really touched. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming. And everyone out there, thank you for coming out there. If you're watching this later, we did have one person wanted to say hi. Christy Smallwood says hi, guys.
Hey, Christy.
Yeah, so didn't have much other activity in the chat room, at least, or I couldn't see it. We know that StreamYard has been having some problems recently, so I'm not sure if some of the comments didn't come through or not. I'm not sure, but just to know, we'll look at them later, and if we need to get them to Linden, we'll get them to Linden. But
I'll be in the comment section later, so drop a comment and I'll write a reply in there.
There you go. So everyone, thank you for coming. We'll see you next time. All next week, we've got lots of people from. We got 6 guests from the American version of The Voice coming on. So look at our schedule. 6 people. And then we got some more verticals that are tentatively scheduled for the following week. So everyone take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Amazing. Thanks, everyone.